So what are you mastering these days? That is the topic tonight on Living Pressure Free with Elle. Hi, I'm Elle Ingalls, creator of the Pressure Free Method and Mastery. I didn't bring the book in here. I'm reading the book, The One Thing. I was finishing it up today by Gary Keller. So in The One Thing, it's helping you really become a master of one thing, or deciding in different areas of your life what one thing you're going to focus on. It's really a book about helping you focus. And I love the word master because I guess particularly as a violinist, because for many years I was the concert master or concert mistress of my orchestras when I was growing up. And I just always thought of the idea of mastery as my friend. And I'm sitting on the floor here because I just kind of want to pan over what's behind me here, some of the things on my bookcase. So all of these things here, all these spiral bound things here, and then there's a whole bunch more down here. Those are all notes that I have taken of books that I've read. It's journaling, but it's in the sense of always learning something. When the first time I was writing a pressure-free book, the workbook that goes with my optimal performance course, called Quantum Leap. When I wrote that book, it was because I could take one of these out. I have a table of contents. That's kind of a cool book too. I have a table of contents. Can you see it? The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So I put a table of contents in the beginning of my my journals, and it's kind of cool. Like, I can look up exactly what book or what notes I was taking from working with a particular mentor or coach. I can look it up and I can go right to the page. And when I wrote my first book, it was incredible. I could bring so much knowledge into what I was putting together because I had done all this work, this mastery of note taking. Over here, you see all these yellow books here. Musicians may know what those are. So these, I'm going to pull one out here. What one should I pull out? Let's grab Chike 1. So these are mini scores. Gosh, I can't seem to get my camera right today. This way. This is Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony. And at one point I had over 400 musical scores in my attic. And what's really kind of frightening is that, except for maybe a handful of them, I had studied them. So talk about mastery. If you don't know much about orchestral conducting, I'll just show you a page in here so you can see. Like, you have to study what everybody is doing. And so, like, I'll just put this up here so you can see. So you have to take a look and you have to read this, and you'll see I have some purple lines in there. Those are marking phrases. Phrases are like musical sentences. But you literally have to study every single line of music, every single instrument. You have to decide who needs your help. You have to decide so many things. So mastering the art of conducting, it just takes an inordinate amount of studying. So this is just a handful of my scores that I still have on my current bookshelf because I just can't seem to part with them. They mean a lot to me. Beethoven, Brahms, Stravinsky, Mahler, Saint-Saëns, Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov. You know, it just goes on and on and on. They're important to me. So this is part of my mastery. Then I have like all this violin music. I have file cabinets full of violin music, and I mean, these are pieces that I've played and pieces that I've taught, and it just jazzes me up. So what are you mastering? What is important to you? What books are on your shelf? That tells you something right there. I mean, I've got a lot of really fascinating books here. And those tell me something. My fiction books, I've got a couple on here. This is my favorite author, Jim Harrison. If you've never read any, he's pretty raw. I'll throw that right out there, but I absolutely love Jim Harrison. He has such great insight. It's like every other page has some sort of human insight that I just love. So so he's on my shelves. By the way, if you don't read any fiction, because when I first started working with one of my mentors, one of the first questions he asked was, "What are you reading?" All of the books on that next to my bed that I were reading, they were all nonfiction, and there were 5 of them. And he goes, "You need to read more fiction." So do you do any pleasure reading? If you do any pleasure reading, I'd love to know any recommendations, because I've expanded my fiction reading in the past 10 years, and it's brought me great joy. So because I usually spend a lot of time reading nonfiction, and that's all here too. So again, coming back to the question, what are you mastering? Here's some of the things I see people mastering today, by the way. I see a lot of people mastering complaining. They're doing a really good job of it. I see a lot of people mastering hate pretty well too. So like, what is it that you're mastering? What words are coming out of your mouth? What thoughts are coming out rolling around in your head? What are your actions? Are they inspiring? Are they helpful? Or are they tearing things down? Are they creating chaos? So your actions, your thoughts, your words. Let me see, I got a couple other notes here because I actually thought about this today, what I wanted to share. So here it is. So this is coming straight out of the one thing. Mastery is a path I choose. What path are you choosing right now? Is your path expanding you, or is your path crippling you? Are you in author mode? I like this idea. Or are you in victim mode? Are you the author of your life, or are you allowing things around you to decide what's happening in your life? Mastery is a way of thinking. Mastery is a way of acting. And mastery is a journey you experience. So I think that's a really cool idea. We sometimes think of mastery as the end game. But as we're learning, as we're working on whatever it is that we want to be a master of in our life, it's pretty cool. The journey is the thing. So just this evening, I was working with a client, and we have to do certain things. This is a young person and student having to do certain things. And it's like, okay, what's the end game? But then how can we enjoy the process? How can you enjoy mastering what it is that you want to have happen, what it is that you're aiming for? How can you enjoy it? So if you're a real estate agent, how can you enjoy the process of becoming a better real estate agent? If you're a teacher, how can you, and I think about this, I think about my inspiring teachers. They're just lifelong learners, and they're so completely immersed in their learning that you can't help but be inspired by them. Today, as I was in my car briefly, and Mozart's 36th Symphony came on, the Linz Symphony. That was a piece I learned when I was going to study conducting in Salzburg. And I just came in at like the middle of the first movement, and my whole body just got electric, because I was like, you never hear that piece played on the radio, and here it was. And I know it so well, and it's been 30 years. 30 years? Yeah, 30 years. More than 30 years since I studied that piece. And I'll never forget that summer, I came back to Ann Arbor and I went for a run, and I just dropped by my professor of conducting's house, Gustav Meyer. I dropped by his house, and he was sitting on his back porch. It was a hot day, sitting on the back porch, sitting on a beautiful chair, and he had his music stand. On the stand was the Mozart 36th Symphony, which I had just studied in Salzburg, and now here my teacher was working on it. And you would have thought he had never even come close to, sorry, I just got an amazing message. You would never think that he would have to study it as hard as he was, because I'm sure he's worked on that piece many times. He was in his 70s at the time when this happened. But he sat there and he just talked to me about the Mozart and this particular symphony. And we went over phrases, and we went over what was happening in the music. We're not hearing it, okay? This is us just sitting, looking at a score, like these scores right here. I don't have the Mozart here. I have it in a big score. But it was just so inspiring to me. And that's mastery. He was still learning. He was still delving into all the secrets that Mozart had in this one piece. So as a musician, we're never satisfied. The piece can always be better. We're continually working. I feel that way too when I coach Pressure Free. Every client I coach, it's like always up-leveling. How can I help them? How can I impart this knowledge so that Pressure Free really happens in their life? So what are you jazzed about? What are you mastering? And, it's a moment-by-moment choice what we are working on and what we are mastering in your job, at home with your family. We master the art of playing double, triple, quadruple, and even sextuplet solitaire. We thought we actually should Facebook Live it because it would probably go viral. But that's something that we master, playing together as a family, which is really pretty fun, even with our adult boys. So I hope you are making some great choices. I hope you're choosing to master something that's going to make this planet a better place in your unique way, with your unique gifts and talents, with no fear of loss, no fear that you're not good enough, no fear. I call it this. I say, go in full belief, assume success, be along for the ride, enjoy the journey, see what you can master. So have a great pressure-free night. Bye.